This has got to be the biggest heist in American history. This is bigger than Air France. This is bigger than Lufthansa. I gotta go get the papers, get the papers. If you've seen Goodfellas thousands of times like I have, you'll understand that reference. And if you've never seen Goodfellas, what the hell's wrong with you? I have got to give credit where credit is due. Adam Silver might be the worst commissioner in sports. Hell, Adam Silver is the worst commissioner in sports. Adam Silver has destroyed the NBA. He has created a league where the employee is more powerful than the employer. Adam Silver's turned the NBA into the premier polished turd. I could sit here for the next hour and highlight everything that Adam Silver has done wrong. But I've got to give him credit for one thing. This dude must be one hell of a negotiator. I cannot believe that Adam Silver found a way to convince the networks to pay $76 billion for this turd. This is a league where tickets can be purchased for less than $76. In some markets, G League tickets are more expensive than NBA tickets. A week or two ago, you could watch the New Orleans Pelicans attempt to play NBA basketball for $2. $2! The grilled wiener at the concession stand was 3 times the price of the tickets. I am amazed. I am absolutely amazed that Adam Silver convinced the networks to pay $76 billion for a league that no one is watching. You know, the way I see it, there are different types of ratings declines. You've got cyclical declines where ratings peak at certain times of the year and decline at other points of the year. Take YouTube, for example. Every December, every January, I know my views are going to decline. It happens every year. It's happening right now. Views plummet during the holidays. They start picking back up late January, early February after people have already broken their New Year's resolutions and everything returns to normal. Nothing you can really do about it. You have the ratings declines that we are seeing in the NFL, where I believe it has a lot to do with the quality of play on the field. The NFL is kind of in a transitory period right now where legendary quarterbacks who carried the league have retired. There's a lot of young quarterbacks in the league who are still trying to develop. The NFL is kind of in a holding pattern right now, waiting for the stars of this generation to develop and take over. Again, nothing you can do about that either but wait and hope for the best. Then you have what I am calling a well-deserved ratings decline. CNN, MSNBC, they have lost half their audience in the last 4 weeks. It's a well-deserved decline because they have spent years indoctrinating and lying to their audience. But I can't think of a more well-deserved ratings decline than the declines that we are seeing in the NBA. For years, this league has taken advantage of its fan base. For years, they have taken our money and given us nothing in return. To make matters worse, they accused you of mythical racism in 2020 and essentially told you to not watch the league if you had the audacity to vote for Donald Trump. Oh, man, bad! Problem for the NBA, millions of people listened. Millions of people acquiesced to their demands. For years, NBA players have sent a clear message to the fan base. The regular season doesn't matter. Unfortunately for Adam Silver, the fans, they seem to have gotten the message. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Last year, Adam Silver came up with this brilliant idea to start a tournament in the middle of the regular season. Initially, it was called the in-season tournament, but this year, Alice came up with a more creative name for the tournament, the NBA Cup. Now, obviously, he stole this idea from the WNBA. As you guys know, the winner of the WNBA Finals received off-season access to the Golden Throne. They received the luxury of using bathrooms with running water during the off-season, along with a flushable toilet. Looking at these ratings, the NBA, they're not going to have the money to gold plate the throne. This damn thing might be made of copper or porcelain because no one is watching this tournament. The idea behind the NBA Cup, it was to motivate players to actually compete, try during the regular season. And for 1 year, it worked. For 1 year, the NBA saw a spike in viewership during November and December because the players treated the tournament like it actually mattered. This year, not only has the effort declined, NBA ratings have officially sunk lower than the WNBA dump. The WNBA averaged 1.2 million viewers on ESPN last season. Remember that number. Now, obviously, most of those games featured Caitlin Clark, but the dump still had a couple of games featuring anonymous players that eclipsed 1 million viewers during the regular season, which is an accomplishment that the stars in the NBA are having trouble with. Tuesday night, Warriors Nuggets TNT. They were fighting to reach the next round in the chase for the Copper Cup. 1.1 million viewers, down 44% compared to last year. Earlier in the night, it was Knicks Magic, 956,000 viewers, down 45% compared to last year. Same time slot last year, the Knicks played the Bucks, 1.7 million viewers. But that's okay. The NBA saved their big stars for Friday night. It was the Friday night after Thanksgiving. The NFL played earlier that afternoon. Wasn't too much college football. The NBA had little to no competition on TV. There should be no reason for the NBA to draw less than 1.5 million viewers at minimum. I mean, this was one of the final games in the group stages of the NBA Cup. The NBA was featuring their king, LeBron James. If you were to believe so-called experts like Nikki Wright and Shannon Sharp, hey, it's me, say. If you were to believe these experts, LeBron is the Billy Goat. ESPN should be able to put LeBron in prime time on a Friday night after Thanksgiving and crush everything else on television. Thunder Lakers, ESPN, just over 1 million viewers. I mean, it was barely over 1 million viewers, down 26% compared to last year. Clippers Wolves on the same night. Anthony Edwards is supposedly the next face of the NBA. Apparently, though, it's a face that most people don't recognize because he drew 723,000 viewers, down 33% compared to last year, and one of the least watched games of this season when no one is watching games. If you have been following the channel for a while, you saw this coming. I have been telling you guys that the NBA was dangerously close to being outdrawn by the WNBA. Well, we have reached that point. Ratings have been declining for years, but they've always been able to rely on LeBron and Steph Curry. Now, they can't even rely on them. LeBron can't convince people in Los Angeles. He can't convince Lakers fans to watch the Lakers. My brother-in-law, he is a die-hard fan of the Lakers, has been for years, ever since I have known him. He can't watch this team anymore. They are literally begging LeBron James to retire in Los Angeles. They cannot get rid of this dude fast enough. Not only has he destroyed the Lakers, LeBron has essentially destroyed the entire league. I have been saying this for years. LeBron James will be known as the first face of the NBA to leave the league in worse shape than it was in when he was drafted. When LeBron was drafted in 2003, the NBA was on life support. The media had turned against the league. The overall perception back then of the NBA was that it was a league full of criminals. It seemed like every week an NBA player was being arrested. You guys remember the Portland Jailblazers? When LeBron was drafted, the NBA had nowhere to go but up. Yet somehow, this so-called king has found a way to make it exponentially worse. I know I shit on the WNBA all the time, and don't get me wrong, The WNBA is still a dump. There is nothing entertaining about pretend basketball. It's humorous to watch Angel Reese airball one or two layups, but by the time she has airballed her third layup in the same possession, it's past the point of being boring. WNBA players might struggle to make shots. The pace of the game is slow. WNBA product is just boring. But as bad as the WNBA is, as boring as pretend basketball is to watch, you know what I never have to question about WNBA players? I never have to question their effort. When they put on their hard hat and their steel-toed boots and they're ready to jump on the back of the garbage truck, I never have to question their effort on the jump. They might not make the jump, they might need a ladder to get on the back of the truck, but at least I know they are trying. Angel Reese, she is trying to make layups, she just can't do it. All kidding aside, the WNBA might be boring, but at least I can respect the players and their effort. I can at least respect the fact that they are not taking advantage of my time. One of the problems in the NBA, the players, the league does not respect its fan base, which is why that fan base is rapidly dwindling. I cannot tell you how many times this season I have heard head coaches in the NBA complain about the lack of effort. Hell, JJ Redick has been complaining about the lack of effort in Los Angeles for weeks. This franchise, hell, the entire league, they allowed LeBron James to turn one of their cornerstone franchises into a fucking circus. They orchestrated the draft to get Bronny James to Los Angeles. Also, LeBron and his spawn could share the court for 5 minutes. You got players complaining about playing 82-game seasons. They miss weeks at a time for phantom injuries. And even when they're healthy, the product on the court during the regular season, it's not entertaining. Here in about 2 weeks, this league is going to get embarrassed on a national level. Hell, they should be embarrassed already because they are being outdrawn by the WNBA, but for some reason, no one seems to care. But here in about 2 weeks, the NBA is going to be humiliated on their day. The day they used to dominate television. The day that used to be referred to as the unofficial start to the NBA regular season. The NBA is going to get demolished on Christmas Day. Adam Silver has allowed Roger Goodell in the past few years to completely emasculate him. NFL launches Thursday Night Football. What does Adam Silver do? Instead of competing like a man, he moves the NBA on TNT to Tuesday nights. Roger Goodell notices this weakness and he takes Christmas away from the NBA. Look at the NBA schedule on Christmas this year. Biggest matchup of the day, at least in terms of ratings, Lakers-Warriors. What does Adam Silver do? He makes sure the matchup is at 7 o'clock so he is not competing directly with the NFL. But KC, isn't that smart? He adjusts his schedule around the NFL to ensure that he draws the largest audience. Yeah, I mean, it is smart short term, but the problem is the message that it sends. Adam Silver is saying, we cannot compete with the NFL. Not only can we not compete, we're not even going to try. We are going to run and hide, and as soon as the NFL says it's okay, we'll come out and play. Organizations take on the characteristics of their leader. Think about it. How are NBA players being perceived? What are some of the words that are used to describe modern NBA players? Soft, pampered, entitled, uncompetitive. All adjectives that could be used to describe Adam Silver. You can blame the players, you can blame LeBron James, but they are only doing what Adam Silver allows them to do. How many times have I complained about the lack of accountability with Draymond Green? The problems with the NBA, it all starts at the top. Adam Silver has destroyed the league. I'm just waiting for the owners to wake up. I'm waiting for the media to wake up. Give me your thoughts on this. NBA ratings are in the pooper. The NBA is now being beaten by the WNBA. Who is the biggest problem? Is it LeBron James? Is it NBA players? Is it Adam Silver? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Best way to contact me is through email, btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys later.